touched down in multiple states, leveling homes and leaving communities in ruins.
The noise and the wind and things hitting the house, and then the suction on my ears.
You just can't believe the destruction. Like, it seems like every business in downtown's been destroyed.
Dolphin dining, a unique fishing strategy, is uncovered off the South Carolina coast.
They're using those ships to their advantage to feed more efficiently.
Bee hotels, we have the buzz on how they can help your garden.
The bees actually lay their eggs in there, and then they also use this as shelter.
And as beach season approaches, important information about the dangers of riptides.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Steve Rudin in Washington, D.C. from WJLA-TV. It was a brutal weekend of severe weather with reports of more than 100 tornadoes striking multiple states. As of this morning, at least 5 are dead and over 100 injured. The worst damage is in Oklahoma, Iowa, and Nebraska, where lives have been uprooted as the most powerful storms destroyed homes and businesses. The view from above shows just how destructive these tornadoes were. This is all that is left of Holdenville, one of the hardest hit areas of Oklahoma. Foundations are all that's left of many buildings. I was watching local meteorologists when that tornado hit late Saturday night. We have a team coverage of the storm and the cleanup, starting with Atra in Holdenville.
Pretty significant tornado went west of Holdenville on up northeast towards the Fusky County line and towards Okemah. We had lots of structure damage, anywhere from minor damage to houses completely destroyed. 4 injuries, 2 fatalities, including a 4-month-old infant.
One Holdenville resident says he was inside of his home when the tornado lifted him and his brother off of the ground.
We got underneath our coffee table after that, and we went up in the air just after we got in the coffee table. And when we landed, we were underneath our couch, teepeed above us like this. And I was able to lift a board up and get my brother and my dog out and then come out myself.
Davis, his brother, and his dog made it out with just scrapes and bruises.
I'm pretty sure everything electronic in the house is gone, destroyed. But that's a lot better having all that destroyed than either one of us, my brother or my dog, dying.
Now he and his family are going through the debris and cleaning up, something several families throughout the state will be doing for the next several weeks. And though the damage in Hughes County is extreme, officials say they will rebuild.
Pray for the people that's lost their family members and that's lost their homes. And that, we'll rebuild.
You always hear, oh, it's not going to happen to me, it's not going to happen to me. But guys, it did. It happened to us. We've been here 12 years. And it's gone.
The home near I-35 and Highway 32, where Gary Branch lives with his wife, caught in the destructive path of Saturday night's devastating storm. They left just in the nick of time, missing the storm by about 60 seconds as they went to a shelter at their daughter's home.
You could feel the wind pulling in, and you could hear the roaring. So we finally got to come back over here about 3 o'clock this morning, and this is what you see. My mama was watching over. It says today's her birthday. She was watching over all of us.
From the living room to the bedrooms to the garage, the storm spared nothing. I'm standing here in the kitchen of the home, and you can see right behind me, the rafters from the ceiling fell right on top of the brand new refrigerator here. Brand new furniture too, and more hit with rain right after the twister came, ruining virtually everything. The same storm killed one person and hit a nearby Dollar Tree distribution center.
I was blown away because I had no expectation of what it was going to be, and I drove up hoping it was going to be minimal damage.
Carl Nectarline used to pull freight from the Marietta Center. Here you can see large sections of the concrete wall facing the interstate ripped right off, debris scattered across the entire area.
The National Weather Service says there were at least 17 confirmed tornadoes in Iowa on Friday. One of the most destructive was in Minden. One is dead after being trapped in a basement after the home was destroyed. Our storm chaser, Brett Adair, was driving across the region when he came across many of those twisters.
We got somewhat of a drill bit tornado, multi-vortex tornado on the ground right now from this particular tornado. It looks like it's cycling just a little bit. Oh wow, a very intense stovepipe tornado now. Just to my west, maybe a mile and a half to my west. That is catastrophic tornado on debris, massive debris. Oh my word. Oh my God.
I know.
No, oh my God.
Oh, it hit houses, didn't it? Look at the horizontal vortex in the wedge.
Yeah.
Another round of tornadoes ripped through parts of Nebraska Friday night. This is what it looked like in Omaha, or the suburb of Elkhorn, after a large tornado swept through. Many families in the area were impacted by the storms. Mike McKnight has more.
When a funnel cloud dipped from the sky northeast of Lincoln, Dana Jorgensen knew danger was still 35 miles away, but told wife Julie to get home anyway. She didn't make it all the way.
I was scared for him because I knew he was in the house and I watched it hit the house. And I could have videotaped it, and I got my phone up and I was shaking so bad that I couldn't even figure out how to use my phone at that point.
Dana climbed down into a tiny crawl space just moments before the twister hit.
Scared, really scared. And like I said, it was like vacuum. The noise and the wind and then things hitting the house and then the suction on my ears, and then within probably 30 seconds it was gone.
And gone to the top floor of the couple's home that sits on what was a wooded acreage southwest of Waterloo.
This I don't think we'll recover from. I don't think we can.
At our age, it's more than we can handle. We're just going to have to move on.
For nearly a half century, they enjoyed property surrounded by a small forest. But the tornado took down almost every tree along with the top of their home. But the sun came out, and the terrible day ended with a bright moment. The couple's dog, Jet, took off as the twister approached. Jet had been running in a field, and her tags led a stranger to bring her back home.
Severe storms rolled through central Texas this weekend, taking down power lines and trees and damaging several homes. Monique Lopez spoke with those impacted as they begin the cleanup process.
Air just coming around, they could hear a lot of wind, and it started to sound like a train, and then all of a sudden it was like a massive downpour.
Elizabeth Balderas is the manager of Cafe 290 in Manor, right across the street from an Exxon that seemed to get the worst of the damage in the city. There, a gigantic billboard flew off, crashing into the building, barely missing the busy highway. And that's not all. The metal holding up a TxDOT sign was completely bent, flipping the sign upside down, and an unoccupied food truck was overturned by the powerful winds. In Manor, several homes with roof damage and downed trees. In South Austin, residents say storms were so bad they almost ran for shelter, thinking a tornado was heading their way.
It was actually insane last night. So apparently, after I fell asleep, the trees started to come down, and my friend was about to throw me into the bathtub and cover me with a mattress.
The cleanup had already begun when we caught up with residents Sunday morning.
Definitely felt like a tornado. It was super loud, looked out the window. Felt like we needed to get away from the windows because we didn't know what exactly was going on, and it was so loud when the tree fell.
Most tornado watches and warnings have expired this morning, with the potential of some over Louisiana. There is a flash flood warning for far east Texas and a flood watch in northern Louisiana right now. Switching gears, the big weather story today will be the heat. While much of the Great Plains and Texas will feel it, temperatures will be 15 to 20 degrees above average across the mid-Atlantic. Here in Washington, D.C., record-challenging heat at or above 90 degrees is in the forecast. This looks like a lot of snow, but its removal is another sign that spring is here and summer is quickly approaching. Each year, Caltrans District 9 clears away snow that has settled onto roadways leading into and through Yosemite National Park. Check this out from YouTube. Crews are working on State Route 120 West, about 2 miles from the entrance of the park. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll look at the unique way dolphins are catching their food along the South Carolina coast. And we'll help you better understand the UV index.
I'm meteorologist Ryan Munn with a look at the Northeast as we head through the day on Monday. We are going to see a really nice day for many areas. Notice a couple clouds and even a few showers up towards areas in northern New York, but most of us are going to see lots of sunshine up through Maine, Vermont as well, and we will see some mild temperatures as well. A few showers possible as we head into Tuesday, and then we will see high temperatures for your day today, topping out in the 70s and 80s.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the mid-Atlantic region after a warm end of the weekend. We are going to start your Monday off with just some scattered clouds to begin, and we'll see temperatures soaring once again. However, our next chance of rain moves in on Tuesday afternoon to evening. We'll see a line of scattered showers and some thunderstorms will roll across the area. Very warm as we move through Monday. We could still see temperatures reaching near 90 degrees in Baltimore, upper 80s down to the south, so very warm temperatures there. And as we head into Tuesday, upper 80s.
I'm meteorologist Vitas Reed. Here's a look at your southeast forecast highs for the day. It looks like we're going to see a warm one in Nashville, 82 degrees, 85 in Raleigh, 84 in Macon, Charleston, 79 degrees, 88 Tampa, 81 West Palm. We saw a lot of severe storms pushing across parts of the south. We still have that frontal boundary making its way through the Mississippi River Valley. Showers and thunderstorms getting strong across parts of Memphis down through Jackson, Mississippi, as well as New Orleans. It looks like a noisy afternoon. Then a few showers work their way in over parts of eastern Tennessee overnight.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
All right, let's check in to see weather in cities across the country today. We begin in Louisiana. Warned severe thunderstorms are possible for the remainder of the morning with scattered showers this afternoon. Highs will be well into the 80s. This is downtown Atlanta, Georgia. A good amount of sun today with highs ranging from the upper 70s to lower 80s. And we head over to Albuquerque, New Mexico. A beautiful afternoon to look forward to with highs in the middle 70s. And finally to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Look closely. You can see the Philadelphia Museum of Art in the upper right. Many of you remember the famous steps from the movie Rocky. Patchy fog this morning will give way to sun and clouds later this afternoon. Plan for above normal temperatures considering the time of year, anywhere from the upper 80s to close to 90 degrees. And speaking of hot temperatures, you'll be hearing a lot about UV index as we get into the summer months. To help you better understand, we turn to meteorologist Teresa Carter.
The UV index provides a daily forecast of the expected intensity of ultraviolet radiation from the sun. The forecast is based upon ozone levels, cloudiness, and elevation. The lower the values, you can safely enjoy being outside. Values ranging from 3 to 7, protection from sun damage is needed if you need to be outside during midday hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Take steps to reduce sun exposure and wear sunscreen. And try to seek shade. The higher the numbers, such as 8 and above, avoid being outside during midday hours. Make sure you seek shade. A shirt, sunscreen, and a hat are a must. Beachgoers should know that sand and water reflect UV and can make the UV index even higher.
It's a phenomenon that's happening off the waters in South Carolina, and so far it hasn't been documented anywhere else. Lisa Weisman shows us the unique and fascinating way local dolphins have been catching and eating prey.
The South Carolina Aquarium is home to some 5,000 animals, both inside and out. But if you pay close attention to the water just beyond the tanks in the wild, you might catch something that excites aquarium educator and scientist Megan Gallipo.
When you come to the South Carolina Aquarium, you can stand on our harbor deck and see all of these dolphins. You can see all of this happening.
It all started just by monitoring the dolphins in the Charleston Harbor over the years. And in this instance, how they interacted with the aquarium's neighbor, the Columbus Street Terminal, and the huge container ships that dock there.
We started to notice that every time there was a ship docked at one of the terminals here in the harbor, we started to notice, oh, if there's a ship there, there's going to be a dolphin there for sure. And after saying that out loud a few times, we said, wait a second, why? Why are there always dolphins near those ships? And what are they doing by the ships? What's drawing them to those ships?
The answer was found captured here in research video taken by boat.
We finally figured out that the dolphins were feeding next to these ships. And not only were they feeding next to them, they were using the sides of the ships, which go very far down under the water, much farther than we can see, as like a wall or a barrier to push and chase fish up against to make it easier to catch them. And often that chase culminates in the fish jumping right up out of the water to try to escape the dolphin, and the dolphin coming up from below and grabbing that dolphin. Hopefully, if the dolphin is successful, then they're able to catch that fish, and there's not much place for that fish to go because they've been chased literally up against a wall.
The dolphins were using the sides of the ship to catch their food. Gallipo says dolphins have developed adaptive strategies when it comes to eating, like strand feeding. You may have seen videos of it happening on Kiowa or Seabrook Islands. But this kind of feeding using the side of a container ship has never been documented beyond the Charleston Harbor.
There's a lot of human impact on the animals here. So it's really interesting to see how the dolphins have kind of capitalized on that a little bit. They're using those ships to their advantage to feed more efficiently. And it's really cool for us to be able to identify that and study that and see how they have adjusted to the environment that we share.
Typically this time of year, Montana sees runoff from melting snow. This year, a mild winter means much less runoff, and it's impacting local fishermen. Alex Hoffman has more.
April showers bring May flowers, but what do the winter months bring? Typically in Montana, lots of snow that becomes runoff water that flows from the mountains to the rivers, but not this year.
It's definitely less water coming off low elevation, mid elevation snow, so we didn't see bumps in water from that mid elevation, low elevation snow.
Less snow means less water going into popular fishing spots, mainly western Montana rivers, where fly fishing is a way of life. Low water levels in rivers will slow down the current, giving potential catches more time to see and smell you.
The less water we have, the slower the body of water is moving, which makes it more difficult to catch fish. They have more time to see it all happen.
The lack of snow isn't the only thing affecting this year's fishing game. Believe it or not, a key move to make when deciding if it's a good fly fishing day is simply look up. Fish aren't a fan of bright sun rays in the middle of the day, but the cloudy skies of April this year have been an angler's friend.
Trout don't like looking into the bright sun, just like we wouldn't like, you get better hatches with low pressure and clouds. So there's a combination of certain things coming together that make fishing a lot better in cloud cover and low pressure than sunny and high pressure.
Despite the low amount of snow runoff and lower water levels, fly fishing expert Chase Harrison says the season has mostly been a good one.
Season's gone really well so far. Lots of big browns have been caught. There's been moments of really good fishing, and there's been moments of a struggle. So I'd say 70% of the spring days have been pretty good.
You never know what Mother Nature will bring to your front door. Tri-Cities meteorologist David Boyd shows us what unexpectedly appeared recently.
Springtime brings new life, and that truth is hitting close to home. A robin made a nest in a wreath on my front door recently. We spotted 5 eggs, and now most have hatched. We've been using this door less often to try and not to disturb the nest and feeding time. The baby birds have had to endure some chilly mornings recently, with lows in the 30s in the Tri-Cities area of Tennessee, but thankfully, warmer weather is on the way.
Have you ever heard of a bee hotel? It's all the buzz and something you can put in your yard to help your garden grow. Meteorologist Will Henney explains.
Hey there everybody, spring is finally in the air here in West Michigan, and with that we're starting to see the flowering trees really take off. Some of those blooming bulb flowers as well, we're starting to see those peak up, which is a great sight. I'm here in Bronson Park in downtown Kalamazoo, and with that we're starting to see the pollinators get a little bit more active. An organization called Kalamazoo in Bloom. They're a local nonprofit made up of hundreds of gardeners that do a lot of volunteering. They just installed these bee hotels These are a great thing to think about at your home or garden, something you can certainly make or purchase. But basically the bees actually lay their eggs in there, and then they also use this as shelter when they're busy pollinating this time of year. And if you're thinking, why would I want to attract a big swarm of bees into my yard? That's not the kind of bees we're talking about. These are solitary mason bees, great pollinators, and they thrive off of native vegetation as well. So a great thing to think about at your home and great for the environment as well.
As we head to break, it's time to chill and take in this lush canyon view.
Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. Taking a look at our weather story today. A little quieter across the plains than what it has been to end last week. Now, that rain is slowly drifting its way into the Ohio Valley for the day today, and it'll continue moving its way to the east heading into your Tuesday. More thunderstorms, though, are expected to start firing up across the Central Plains for Tuesday into Wednesday as well, with most of us in the 70s and 60s, even some 80s to the south.
Thanks for joining me. I'm meteorologist Mary Wasson. We had quite a few thunderstorms on Sunday, but most of those are moving towards the east, and we're expecting a mostly cloudy sky in the morning, giving way to some sunshine through the afternoon. High temperatures on Monday. We're going to start off in the 70s, but climbing well into the 80s, even close to 90, with lots of sunshine later in the day. Some clouds Tuesday morning, but then again a little bit more sunshine by Tuesday afternoon.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Rebecca Stevenson. Here's what's happening across the west. A big cool down coming in for the Pacific Northwest first. We're still very warm across parts of Arizona and California, but the wind is going to be picking up in those spots, also up into Idaho, as a series of fronts brings in high mountain snow, plenty of showers, and some coastal risk of thunderstorms. That's the scene from here.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A wild weather weekend included damaging storms from Texas on up to Nebraska and Iowa. This onslaught of pelting hail fell in Knox City, Texas, and a tornado was spotted there Saturday. This tornado caught on camera northwest of Waco in China Springs, and a snapshot of another beautiful moonset, this one taken west of Asheville with a cloak of fog.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
And beach season is coming up, and that means the risk of getting caught in a rip current. Meteorologist Alan Strum explains how they form and what you can do if you get caught in one.
And here's how they form. Wind pushes water over sandbars and toward the shore. This water needs to exit and head back out. So what it does is it uses deeper channels to head back out to sea. And this is the danger zone and where people can get caught up in those rip currents. Now, fighting it and swimming against those rip currents is like being on a treadmill, and it can be impossible to get out. So the best thing to do is swim parallel to the shore or wait until you get out of that rip current and head back on to safety on the beach.
And thank you so much for looking in this Monday morning. I'm glad you were able to join me. I'm meteorologist Steve Rudin from WJLA in Washington, D.C. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Good day.